thank you all for coming out tonight to this event. We're really excited to have you here and to have all these young candidates here who are really working hard to represent you guys. So before I start, I just want to thank Press Lounge for having this event here. I would like to thank Uptown Comfort for providing the food. I know everyone really likes the turkey burgers, so that's all Courtney Adams. And last but not least, I would like to thank the host committee for doing a really great job at promoting this event. So I'm just going to introduce the candidates who are here tonight. When I say your name, just raise your hand so everyone can see you. We have Tremaine right here from District 36 in Brooklyn. And that's District 36 covers Best Side and Northern Crown Heights. From District 36, we also have Saquon Jones. The third person we have from District 36 is Mark Winston Griffith. We have Brandon Dace from District 9 in Harlem. And for those of you who live in Harlem, that covers Central Harlem and Morningside Heights. And we also have Robert Rodriguez from District 8. And that is East Harlem, West Harlem, and the South Bronx. So definitely feel free to approach these candidates, find out what they're about. They have information on the tables over here. Ask them why you should vote for them. Next Tuesday is a very important day for these candidates. It's the primary election. So definitely feel free to ask questions. And I'm really excited about this event. I got involved in it with Brian because I live in Harlem in District 9, and I've been living there for a few years. And I went to a fundraiser where I met Landon Dace, and I just became really inspired. I started working on his campaign as a volunteer, and just, seeing someone young who's my peer really making a difference and, becoming this leader with a really important voice in the community really inspired me. So, then that's not just Landon, that's all the candidates here tonight who are really doing something big in their communities. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Brian Benjamin. Brian is the head of Young Professionals United for Change, and he put this whole event together. So.
First of all, that's actually not true. There are a lot of people who are involved in this event. Before I sort of start, I wanted to thank a couple of people who have been instrumental in Young Professionals United for Change getting to this point. First, I'd like to start with Kelsey Cooper and the JI group. They were very helpful when we first decided to do this, saying, look, we will put our reach behind this effort, and we want to be involved in some of the political activity that you're interested in being involved in. And so with their help, this has been very good process for us. We've grown very quickly to the point where we can have an event like this tonight. Also, I'd like to thank Tyler White, who's sitting right here in the front. Tyler, saying thank yous are very important, by the way. And we don't do it enough, but I want to make sure I do this before we move on. Tyler White was enormously helpful when we first started. When I first called her, I just knew she was someone who was known and she can get on the host committee. But she was very helpful in bringing Diageo to the table for our first fundraiser. She got D-Nice, and she got free liquor, and that's real stuff, right? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put you on. Yeah, okay, fine. So I definitely want to thank her. Also, I want to thank Kwame Wusakese, who's not here. He's like a younger brother than me. He got involved when we worked together at Morgan Stanley. He got involved, and he brought also with him his Triumph group and Three Kings to the table, and it's just been very helpful. And I also want to thank Tanika Brown, who is right over here in front of Kelsey, who was involved in this from the beginning. Yes, wow, okay. Involved from the beginning. When we were at first event in Connecticut, where we saw Felicia Rashad, and we saw all these black professional people, but they were a little older, like in their 40s and 50s. And it was such a beautiful thing. It was a fundraiser for Obama. It was so spiritual and it was moving. And I said, I would love for us to be able to do that with our peers. And so we all got together. I see Nicole Valentine Moody behind her. We all got together and threw that first fundraiser, Latin Quarters, which was hot. But it was hot. And I'm not going to place any blame on why it was hot, but it was hot. But people were so happy to give money to President Obama, and we did it together. And we had like 700 people. I can't remember all the numbers, but it was a great thing. But Tanika has been very helpful, and she is now launching an entity called Emerge for black women, and it's health, beauty, fitness, fashion, something like that. So if you're interested, please stop by. She's being discriminatory, no men involved in this thing. So anyway, I wanted to do that, and everyone else on the host committee, but I think I really need to do a special shout out to those individuals. Secondly, I just wanted to, before we get into the candidates, which is very important, I want to spend a couple minutes on that. I want to introduce the man who I hope will be our next city controller, David Yaffe. David, actually, I've heard about David for months now, and as some of you know who know me, I don't really want to get involved in the political business, though this is different, right? So I won't go too long on it, but I don't really want to be, endorsing this person, endorsing that person. It's more about who represents our movement, who really is about what we're trying to do, and if they are, then we'll let them come up and say a few words. David, I heard a lot about him. He's well educated. That's great. But he is, he is. God bless him. City councilman in Brooklyn. But a lot of people come to me, and he had his staff. I know Sarah was calling me, other people calling me. But David actually came to church this past Sunday, First Corinthian Baptist Church up in Harlem. Yeah, so he sat next to me in church, and so as you could imagine, David was a little noticeable in church at First Corinthian. And I was skeptical, so I sort of was sitting next to him, but I was kind of like, let me watch this guy a little bit, see what he does here. And he came with his Bible, and he was very involved, and we started doing some of our hymn and worship and whatnot, and he had a little clap going on, and I was like, I'm watching him now very closely. I'm like, let me keep my eyes on him. And then, we started doing the double clap, some of the things. David was in full. I was like, who's this guy? So I said, okay, all right, let's see where he's going. And so, but the thing I liked about him is that he came, he sat through the whole service, he listened to the service, he took notes, he had his Bible out, and then when he got up to the podium to talk about why he's running, what he's doing, he brought in what the pastor was saying. And I thought it was enormously important because it showed that he was engaged. He didn't bring some 10-person entourage. He came by himself, and he was very humble. And when we talked about this event, he said, well, I'm just happy to show up, and that's it. And I said, wow, that's pretty unique for someone running for high office. So I thought it made sense to bring David up, give him a few minutes to say a couple words, and I wish him the best. David Yaffe.